Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. This hasn't been a very good week for me because I had to have a tooth taken out on Monday and then I developed an infection in my gum. I'm on antibiotics now and hopefully I'm well on the road to feeling a lot better. One of the problems it has caused is that I haven't had time to prepare a video for Sunday. But I have been asked if I would show how I put the cling mounts onto the back of my stamps and how I store them afterwards, which is that request has come in really very conveniently because there's obviously not much preparation needed for that. So many thanks for that, Terry. This one's for you. So to start off with, this is how I used to keep my stamp sets. You probably know that the old labels that we had for our clear mount stamps didn't stick very well to the our blocks. You had to make sure your blocks were really clean, and there were various things you could do to make them stick, but I was just too lazy for anything like that. So what I used to do was I just used to take all the surround off of my stamp sets. That was basically to make sure that that adhered to the base of my box. And then when I used the stamp, just took it out, removed the backing, and that was it. Always stored the labels at the top here, so that if I sell the stamp set, I can sell that with it. Some people do like to put the labels on, plus the fact it has become a little bit more important now. And also when I sell a stamp, I can say there's 3 stamps that haven't been used. Okay, so that's what I was doing. And that is what I carried on doing when I first started with my cling mounts. I put the labels on when I was using them, so I know that these 6 haven't been used. I took off the outside, so that's all nicely adhered in place. But then I saw a couple of videos, one by Lisa Curcio and the other one by Brandy of Brandy Cards, and they both showed an easier way of getting the cling labels onto stamps. So what I'm going to do is with this stamp set here, I'm going to show you the way Stampin' Up recommend it and the way that Lisa and Brandy showed how to do it. Just a couple more things before I go on. The reason I have washi tape around the edges of my stamp set is so that when my stamp sets are sitting on my shelf, I can see at a glance which ones haven't been used. Okay, I know that I haven't used that one yet. It will have the tape taken off when I do use it. And also when I do this, I always make sure that I fold it a little bit back on my tape so it's nice and easy to pull it off rather than having to keep digging like that. Also, if you're in Europe, you'll be finding that you've got these little labels stuck on the front. Well, sometimes we have information under there, so I don't like that. So what I do is I just take this out and put it in the other side. So I've still got my tape on the front here, the labels on the back there, and then I'm good to go. And the reason I've got the little names on there, on my stamp sets, that is the name of the set of dies that goes with that stamp set. I think you just about see that, can't you? Okay, so this is the one I'm going to show you. First of all, I'm going to do a stamp showing you the Stampin' Up method. Now what happens now is I do not take off that outside, oh no, on this one, I don't take that outside edge off. You'll see why that is important. So first of all, let's do this one for the Stampin' Up way. Okay, so that's this one here. On these sheets, from one side you can't see through very well, and the other side you can see through very, very well. Now you need to work from the not very well side. And what Stampin' Up recommend is all of these die cuts have a cut halfway through. So you pull off half and half like that. I'll bring this down towards me, it's easier to work that way. And these labels are really, really ultra sticky. They are fabulous. So take that off as well. Now when you're doing this, if you drop this on here, chances of being able to pick it up again are very, very slight because it is so sticky. But what Stampin' Up recommends you do is that you line this up so all the edges are lining up around that edges. So let me just concentrate while I do this because I never do it very well. Which is why I was particularly pleased to see the way Lisa and Brandy recommended it. But I haven't done it too badly there, but I always put it on the palm of my hand like that because I think it helps to reduce the stickiness a little bit. But once that's on there, it's on there and it's stuck. It just will not fall off. Okay, so there's that one. Now I will be putting that back into there, but for the time being. So now I will do, shall we do this one here, which says, "You Warm My Heart," which looks like it's going to be that one there. Yep. You Warm My Heart. Okay. Right, now, a much easier way of doing it is, first of all, you take that off. Now this is why I'm not taking the edging off, because you need this bit like this. And then you take off 1/2 of that, and then you pull the rest of it off like that. So now what you can do is, it's got to go that way, hasn't it? Turn it around that way. Okay, so that's still the label on there. So that label I am going to get lined up on here. This is very, very sticky. Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get that lined up on there. Because I've got the backing there, I've got time and movement with it. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to hold it in place, move my fingers, and then that is just going to go down absolutely perfectly. And then I need to take that white piece off there, but if I fold that back to that, that is going to stick. So put your finger in the way and then lift that one up and then just let that one fall down. Okay, so that is on perfectly. And you can take that out. And then that is absolutely brilliant. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so gradually as all of those get done, I will be putting this back into here. That is going to go on there. And this I'm going to put back in there. Now I always keep my negative part here so that I put all my stamps back in, because then I can see at a glance that all my stamps are back in place, that I'm not losing any. Okay, so that's that. Let's just get rid of that little bit of debris. That's got to go back in there as well. Now, when I have finished taking all the stamps off, I hold on to these sheets because this is still the cling mount material here, the cling material. So I keep them all in a separate box here once they are completely empty. So when I've got a stamp set like this, clear mount, I've gone ahead and I've put the old label onto that one, alright? So it was that one there, wasn't it? Just to show you that this is an old one. Okay. Oh, it is an old one, honestly. You meant to fall, because I cleaned this before. Whoops. I cleaned my block before I did the, oh, that's it, well done. I knew you'd come off eventually. as I say, these labels will work as long as you get a nice clean block. So that's that one. Anyway, the way that you can make this into a cling mount is where you've got all of this. There's a nice big bit. Okay, if you lift up, now where's my paper piercer? And what I'm going to try and do is, I wonder if I can do it from, yeah, there we go. Let's do it from up there. Oh, this will be right, won't it? Okay, so this is still really, really sticky here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stamp on there. And now I'm going to cut that off. Making sure I'm not actually cutting my stamp. Get rid of that, we don't need that bit. And now these are my non-stick scissors, which is great for cutting sticky things. So I'm just going to cut around the shape of my stamp. By doing this, you could make all your old stamps into cling mounts. Okay, so get rid of that. Now the next tricky bit is to separate the backing from here. Sometimes this comes off quite easily, other times it's a challenge. Oh, that's it, that's come off easily. That's it, lovely. And that will go on there nicely now. I can't show you because the other one wasn't coming off anyway, but trust me, this one is now sticking really beautifully. I do find that because I just stick this onto my hand once, I find that this comes off a lot easier. Some people will tell you to slide your fingernail underneath that. If you don't find it comes off as easily as I find it, in fact that's not come off very easy, if it gives you a bit of grief to come off, then try sliding your fingernail underneath to get the sticky label up off there. One other thing is, if you find that your cling mount isn't sticking very well on here, then you can either clean it under the tap with running water, or you can use our stamping mist with the stamping scrub, one of these, which is what I use for cleaning all of my stamps. This is, let's see if you can see it, right down in this corner you've got little sunshine, so that side is dry. There you've got little raindrops, so that side's wet. And just make sure that I don't miss it, I've actually got wet on there and I've put dry on that side. Logically to me it's wash that side and dry that side. Left-handed I suppose might be more logical that way and that way, I don't know, but that's how it works for me. And you can use, this is very old now, but the stamping mist, that is okay to clean the back of your stamps, but do not use alcohol-based cleaners or anything like baby wipes, because that can actually damage your labels. Alright, but there you go, that's how I store my, how I prepare my cling mounts, how I store them. There we go. Okay, so that's all in there, like there now. So my stamp sets, I know if I've got that on the back there, I know that's a cling mount, because I haven't put any labels on there unless that's what they are. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed that quick tutorial. Many thanks for the request, Terry. I needed something like that for this week, and I hope everybody's enjoyed the very quick explanation about cling mount stamps. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to answer your questions and I do enjoy your feedback. If you've enjoyed my video and you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner there, and then click on the bell so that you do get the notifications. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.